Hey, welcome to your Pisces horoscopes for the week of October 29th through November 4th. It's Halloween this week. If you're celebrating, make it fun, make it safe. If you're not celebrating, have fun with that too, whatever works for you. We got some fun stuff going on in Pisces this week. We still continue to have a little bit of a challenge. We do still have an opposition with Neptune and Venus. Now that's going to continue throughout this week, probably into next week. We'll probably break up by the end of or around the end of next week, and then we're done with that. So that's the good news. The not so great news is we're not done with it this week, unfortunately. Neptune moves into focusing on the past, which is a very interesting place for it to focus on, while Venus's focus is on long-term financial goals. So I feel really strongly that what this opposition is telling you is that when you are focused on your financial goals, make sure that you're not repeating mistakes from the past. You're not continuing to do the same thing that is not currently working anymore. You got to change things up a bit in order to change the way that your goals, the direction that your goals are heading in, if that makes sense. Outside of that little bit of a challenge, everything is just gravy, really. We do have Neptune in a trine with Mars, it looks like. No, it's Mercury, as a matter of fact. And on Friday, when the moon moves into a trine with these two planets, it becomes a grand trine on top of an existing grand trine, which is an Earth grand trine. So grand trines are, you have at least one planet in every element. So a planet in all three water signs. And water grand trines, yes, water is all about emotions. But water is also about the flow of energy at the same time. And so it creates this fantastic environment where things just flow the way that they're supposed to, almost as if by magic in a way. So Friday is definitely going to be your power day on that. And because it's a grand trine and not a giant challenge, it should be flowing in a good direction and not necessarily creating a lot of problems. We also continue to have Neptune in a grand sextile with Pluto and Uranus as well. Pluto still focused on self. Uranus is focused on the home. I feel like, again, we're unlearning things, practices that we've had in place for ourselves that are just not working for us. Now, Pisces is one of those signs that does tend to be a bit on the emotional side, I guess we could say. And because it is an emotional sign, when you get stuck in how you feel, it is impossible to see how you can change a situation. And these planets lining up together are helping give you a glimpse of what you need to do in order to change a situation. And if you can't change the situation itself, change the way that you approach the situation, change your perception of the situation, change the way you handle the situation. There's lots of changes that can be made, even in a situation that cannot be changed. I have a Pisces friend who's taking care of his older parents. Obviously, that's not something that he can walk away from. So he can't force a change there. The other thing is they're older parents. So you don't want the other way that that's going to change. The only thing that he can change in terms of his stress is how he manages his stress, how he approaches, how he communicates, but he cannot change the situation. So there's power in how you approach the situation and making those changes as opposed to constantly approaching the situation in the exact same way, which can be emotionally draining after a while. Outside of that, one last thing, and that is Saturn. We got to talk about Saturn. Saturn's not really interacting with any planets at all. Still firmly in Pisces, and his retrograde ends right at the end of the week. So his first full day of direct is on Saturday, 0 degrees Pisces. So he never quite made it out of Pisces. He made it all the way to the beginning, and now he's turning around and moving forward. So that retrograde is over. Now, I feel like for you Pisces, Saturn in retrograde has really been, a lot of time has been spent maybe forcing you to see your responsibility in a situation. You've spent a lot of time working on that. Now, this is not about you accepting somebody else's responsibility for a problem. Saturn moving direct almost puts you in a situation to where you're more powerful, or you feel more powerful enough to be able to tell somebody, this is your problem, you deal with it. I have other problems of my own to deal with. So it just helps to give you that little bit of edge that you may need to remain focused on what's important and not get sidetracked by all the ridiculousness that life just has to offer. And, life has a lot of that kind of stuff to offer from time to time. So that's what I have for you guys this week. Actually, things have calmed down and yet gotten really exciting at the same time, but the challenges have really calmed down. We're down to one opposition, which isn't going to be around for much longer, and then we won't have that anymore. So it's definitely moving in a direction that is more productive for you guys, which we could all use a little bit more productivity, right? Okay, and maybe a nap or two, huh? That's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my Ko-fi link. That's ko-fi.com/heavy metal psychic, or click the link in the description and it'll take you straight to it. I always love getting a coffee. It makes me really, really, really excited, and it makes me feel loved, which is always nice too. So I appreciate all the tips and donations that I can get. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, you guys make it a great week. Make it a powerful week. Make it the week that you really just say, this is it. I am taking control of this, and this, and I'm going to make it better, because you can. Don't ever underestimate the value of what a Pisces can do. You guys can move mountains when you want to. I'll see you guys next week. Make it a great week, you guys.